What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, what has it been? Two days since they announced that Call of Duty Gulf War, whatever it's going to be called, is going to be in Game Pass day one. What happens? I looked the day that it did it. I looked at Amazon, I guess US, freaking pre-orders or sales for the Xbox Series X are up 1,000 million %. I forgot what it was, 700%. I forgot what it is. It's a lot of percentage, like a lot, right? Don't quote me on the percentage, but it's a lot of percentage. And then in Canada today, same thing. It's up a tremendous amount of percentages. And I'm like, I mean, this is just an announcement that was kind of already, the assumption was there because Xbox owns Call of Duty. It's a first-party studio. All the first-party games go into Game Pass. Now, all these Donkey Unicorns and these Ponies are assuming, Call of Duty makes too much money, so they can't put it in Game Pass because they're going to lose so much money, blah, 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 blah. I said this last video. No, that's not how Game Pass works. That's not how a $1 trillion company who's looking at the bigger, longer picture works. They need the subs. They're looking at Disney Plus and they're like, yo, we got to keep the content flowing. But it's not just trash content like Netflix. I mean, Netflix got it, they got it on lock only because they kind of got grandfathered in, although, the market has shrunk and growing and shrunk. There's waves, ebbs and flows and such. But Disney Plus, for the most part, is a stable kind of environment because of the history and legacy of Disney. You go on there's all those classic movies, blah, blah, blah. It's mainly for the kids, but then there's some Marvel stuff. You got X-Men 97. You got all these things popping off, and it keeps people coming back, right? And that's what Xbox is doing, if you're paying attention. Sure, Hi-Fi Rush is a cool game, right? But is it a game that's going to make you, I got to go sign up for Game Pass for Hi-Fi Rush? No. It's a cool game. It's like, it's a bonus. Let's go. Extra credit. That's cool. But a game that people will play every year, guaranteed, plus Battle Pass and all that stuff, Call of Duty. They are guaranteed to have a jump in Game Pass subs. Guaranteed. If you just translate the amount of people, that 8% or whatever it is, on Xbox that bought it to Game Pass, it's like, boosh, that's a lot, right? Then you have to calculate and figure out how many ponies and Donkey Unicorns are going to jump on the Game Pass bandwagon, because $70 versus, how long are you going to play Call of Duty for? You're going to play it for a month, 2 months, 3 months? Still cheaper to play for 3 months on Game Pass than it is to buy it outright. That's the whole thing. So there's going to be some converts. There's going to be, they're already, like I said, anecdotally, there are people who are waiting for it to pop off Game Pass. Now that they know it's coming to Game Pass, people are buying Xboxes. And they're buying Series X because they want to play the best version. Which I believe the Series X version will be the best version out of all of them, except for PC, obviously. But as far as consoles go, yeah. And you'd be like, PlayStation 5 Pro is going to have the best version. Maybe. I don't think so, because all's fair in console wars, right? So if Xbox applies the same mentality and the same strategy that Sony did, PlayStation did, towards Xbox does that toward PlayStation, then the best version is going to be on Xbox. Not because the PlayStation is more powerful, because it's not, obviously, so it's impossible to have a better version on PlayStation 5 to begin with. Second, PlayStation 5 Pro, Xbox didn't get any dev kits for the PlayStation 5 Pro. As you can go back and look at the documentation and the testimony from one Jim Cryan dance moves flying to Brussels Ryan. He said that, we can't give them dev kits because it'll compromise blah, 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 whatever he said. Something stupid, right? I'm like, I guess you don't want the best version of Call of Duty Gulf War on the PlayStation 5 Pro. I guess the PlayStation 5 Pro ain't gonna get none but maybe a resolution increase. That's it. Frame rates be damned. Well, it can do frame rates anyway, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm thinking about freaking how these ponies and the Donkey Unicorns are going to react to that, because it's like, yo, they're going to say, oh, I told you. Oh, maybe Jiraiya come out through. I told you that they were going to do this. It's like, no, you didn't supply the right. Look, Microsoft is too smart to fall for these bully tactics and all this stuff. They are way too smart. I mean, yes, they say some stupid things. They say, they mess up a little bit here and there. But as far as business goes, business-wise, they haven't really majorly messed up. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, they created Gamepass. That's been good. It's been stagnant, but people are like, oh, it's stagnant because of what? I would say mainly because games. They haven't had the right games to entice people to get in there. And the fact that Gamepass has been growing, it hasn't been stagnant. It has been growing, but just not as fast as they would like it, right? So they're at 35 million, right? Which is pretty good. And that's without super giant. I mean, they've had the Forza Horizon games, and they had Starfield, right? And that was a pretty good bump. There was a little bump there. But Call of Duty really is the indicator, is the let's see what happens. Because that's what Jeff Grubb said. He said, oh, if Call of Duty doesn't move the needle, then that's it, or whatever. Some paraphrasing, obviously. But I'm like, of course Call of Duty's going to move. It's the biggest game in video games. And it's going to be on Game Pass. And when they figure out, oh, that's a good deal, it's like a snowball domino effect, because these normies are going to be like, oh, snap, I can just pay $17 a month, and then I can play Call of Duty. That's cheaper than cheap. And they add it up. It's like, well, I can play it for 5 months. I only play it for about 5 months anyway, or whatever. And then I get tired, and I go back and play, Barbie Horse Adventures or whatever they play after. And so I'm like, for the normie, for the casuals, for the normie casuals, Game Pass is it, And so I'm like, yo, I don't know. But, these I've seen all of these. I haven't watched any of them because I don't have time to watch these foolishness, especially Dreamcast guy. He's a knucklehead. But I've seen all of, I was scrolling on Twitter. I'm like, all these, ponies, Donkey Unicorns. So like, oh my gosh, what's Xbox doing? I did it too. I put a, no, I think it just said Xbox. I put COD on Game Pass with exclamation points. That's all I did, Or did I say, what is Xbox doing? Or what is, I forgot what it's, I think it was just COD on Xbox. But anyway, I'm seeing all these ads and stuff. Not ads, videos about, oh my gosh, they're crazy. And the whole, I mean, I don't even have to watch any of them because I already know what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, they're cannibalizing. They're not going to make as much money. But why are they so concerned about Microsoft, Xbox making money? They're making money. They bought ABK. ABK is more than just A, okay? ABK is A and B and K. K is, look, they got K, they automatically started making money. Without even trying. They was like, yeah, we own it. Put it, the money, all the money that you will make, put it in this bank account. And they didn't have to do anything. They bought it and booged. The cash just started filling up. It's like the money went down 70 billion. It was like, this was happening. This was happening just from King. And now they're going to launch their Xbox store, Game Pass. I don't even know what they're going to call this, whatever it is. And, we'll see how that works out. They haven't had the best track record with PC stores and PC integration with Xbox and all that stuff. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully they can get that to work. I think that for Xbox and for Microsoft, that is the biggest hurdle that they have kind of always faced is merging the PC and the Xbox communities and making it all as one. And now people are kind of fear-mongering. They're saying, oh, if they do that, it's going to be more like a PC and it's going to be less of a console and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. Y'all are dumb. And this is why you're dumb. Steam Deck. Steam Deck is literally a handheld PC. Did you know that the Steam Deck was a handheld PC? Well, I'm letting you know. The Steam Deck is a handheld PC. More so, the ROG Ally is literally a handheld PC. And so you sitting there talking about, they can't do that. It's going to be bad for the boo-boo. Like, literally, somebody's already doing it, and it's just not Microsoft. And they proved that it can be done, and they proved that people want a device like that. And so all Microsoft has to do is create a UI backend API that works like flawlessly, or is like, oh wow, this is really good to work, really good to, I mean, they're pretty good with UI, but I think the problem with like Windows and some of the things with Windows is that the Windows kernel is it's old, and they've tried to kind of have layers on top of layers. Basically, it started with I'm gonna say Windows 8. Windows 10. Actually, really, Windows 11 is more so than anything else, because you can still go and get to those older menus, those sub menus. There's an extra layer on there now, but Spider. But I think one of the things that there is an issue with Windows is that it is kind of bloated, but I don't know what the solution is really, without like kind of like breaking it all down and kind of redoing it. And I think it works well enough where they see like the potential downfalls of actually going in there and redoing everything. It might break more things than it's worth, basically. But for their idea of making a light version, this has been on the books for a while. They're trying to make a light version of Windows specifically for handhelds, and they were working on this before the rumors of a first-party handheld by Microsoft. By, I believe, the Surface team is making it. This was before that. So since they're making the hardware, and then they're going to actually have an API in the back end and the software and the UI and the all that stuff, the OS for this device, and it's going to be a lightweight, meaning it'll be more purpose-built. Maybe there'll be a later version of Windows behind it. I mean, I don't know how they can do it. I mean, I said, like, if they dual boot it, that'd be cool. Or I mean, yeah, there are, look, those guys are way smarter than me. I was listening to a podcast today, and it was a former, I totally forgot the dude's name, but it was a former developer. I forgot what games he made, but former developer. Now he's a teacher at some big college. He works in quantum computing and all. It's super brain. So much so that he literally talked the whole, it was a Joe Rogan experience, for your information. Although I tend to not agree with Joe Rogan all the way and a lot of stuff. I like his guests. That's why I listen to it. Anyway, this dude was like, he was talking some stuff. And he was talking some stuff so much that I was like, I am an idiot, because this man exists right here, and he used to make games. So I look at game creators and I'm like, a lot of these people know how to make games. A lot of these people are super smart. I know that our coder and our writer / artist, they're way smart. I am the dumbest person on the team right now. That's me. Dumb. Only because I know that I am. Because they know more about code. They have experience in that. Brian's working with Spine, and if y'all don't know what Spine is an animation, not protocol, but it's an animation program, I guess you could say it. Mainly for 2D stuff, but he figured out a way to make 3D animations out of 2D, and I'm like, we're doing some crazy stuff. But anyway, Microsoft's strategy with this handheld and getting Windows to work and possibly making it so that the conversion from their console to PC is less work for the devs makes a huge amount of difference. It makes so much amount of difference. Like, if they can do it, like, just press a button in this PC or press a button over his console. If they can make it that simple, they would. And also, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't, right? You start, like, the first Xbox was literally just a PC with off the shelf parts, right? So go back to the original Xbox idea where you say, okay, not so much making off the shelf parts, but taking a bespoke approach to making this console, both the portable version and the big boy version, compatible, like 100% compatible with PC. And I'm like, well, how can they achieve that? How can they do that? Can they do it with an emulation layer, maybe on the PC? Maybe. Would that work as far as getting the most out of a PC version? I mean, these are all the questions that I can't answer, but I am pretty sure that it's possible. I mean, anything's possible, right? But I don't see why they couldn't, right? I mean, if they're thinking along those lines where they're saying, okay, we want our games to be compatible with PC so that, you know, it'll work seamlessly, so these devs don't have to make 2, 3, 4 versions. They could just make one version and maybe alter some of the things, or, you know, I don't know. I can't speak on it, but it seems like a good idea. It seems like a better idea than what Sony's doing. Sony is still in the past. I mean, they're slowly coming to the future. They're coming back to the future. They're slowly coming to terms with what the industry is right now. And I'm close to saying that it's too little too late. You know, they already missed the games of service. You know, I mean, they've had very little success with, Foam Stars and whatever else the other game, I can't remember what it was. Fail. Destruction All-Stars, fail. Gran Turismo, nobody's talking about it, fail. You know, Helldivers 2, barely a success. I would say, okay, it did okay, you know. But when you're talking about a success, we're talking about Power World numbers. We're talking about World of Warcraft. We're talking about these games everybody's playing. Fortnite, that's a success. If you want to measure success, you don't say, oh, it sold the most any Sony PlayStation game on PC. It's like, well, that number is real low because they don't make those games. They don't make multiplayer games. So what are you basing it off of? Nothing? Or Destruction All-Stars? Are you basing it off of Foam Stars? All these stars. Maybe you should put star in the title of your game and maybe it'll do better. Like Helldivers. Put divers on there. Put hell. Either hell or divers in the next one. Don't call it, what's that game called? Don't call it Fair Games. Call it Hell Games or Fair Divers, so that they know that will be a success, because, I don't know, that seems like pony logic, don't it? Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out, showing us minds. Like, subscribe. We're coming up on Hellblade 2. Ooh. We're coming up on, COD and Gamepass. All this news is like crazy, and it's looking promising for Xbox in the near to long future. PlayStation's up in the air. We'll see whatever game they decide to say is coming out next year. Gotta literally wait a year to, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a, what do they call it? Is it like a business meeting or something next month? Or something. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out, showing subscribe. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think of what I said and stuff. And I'll check y'all on the next one. Till the week.